This is about you. A famous seer who told your, "My dear child, if you believe in angels, start this video and watch it completely. Angel says this is a very important message for you today. Do not ignore it. This is about you. Pay attention. Because long before you were born, long before the first heartbeat inside your mother's womb whispered through the silence of the divine realm, something was already written about you in a sacred book that the hands of time could never erase. In a quiet place on this earth, a famous seer once looked into the eyes of your mother with trembling reverence and said something that shook her soul. The words that passed from her lips that day were not ordinary. They were laced with a vision too vast for the moment, but true enough to alter the flow of generations. She told your mother that you will be a vessel for greatness, a keeper of divine secrets, a carrier of a light that would challenge the world's darkness in ways few would ever understand. And now, that time has arrived. You are walking unknowingly into a season that was prepared before you had a name. This message is not a coincidence. There are no accidents in eternity. The world has tried to distract you, has tried to pull you into triviality, but the echoes of that ancient prophecy still ripple through your life. You feel it, don't you? The pull, the ache in your chest at night, the subtle stirring in your spirit when everyone else is asleep. You've sensed it your whole life, that you were meant for something more than what you've seen so far. You have cried and whispered into your pillow questions that no one could answer. But today, this is your answer. This is the moment you open your eyes and remember. You see, that seer did not just speak of your destiny with empty words. She saw the symbols dancing around your name in the stars. She saw visions of you standing tall when others would fall. She saw the storms you would go through, storms meant to refine you, not break you. She saw you being misunderstood, mistreated, and misread because the truth is, those who are sent from the heavens are rarely embraced by the world at first. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out, to shift atmospheres, to carry something precious that would be revealed in its time. This is that time. You must understand something deep and personal now. There are people who walked away from you not because you were unworthy, but because your presence activated something in them they were not ready to face. There are relationships that crumbled, not because you were weak, but because your spirit carried a strength that shook the foundations of lies others were living on. You have felt alone. You have felt forgotten. But you have never been abandoned. There has been a divine covering over your life that kept you safe from things you didn't even know were forming behind closed doors. You were protected when you didn't even know you needed protection. Because your purpose has always been too precious to be wasted. There was a night not long ago when someone who once loved you cried in silence. They were told by others that you were not worth holding on to, and they believed the noise instead of your heart. But even now, the memory of you haunts their thoughts. They replay moments in their mind and wonder what would have happened if they had trusted you instead. But this message is not about them. This is about you. You, who were chosen. You, who were born under a mantle of truth and power that few possess. You, who are being stirred again now, not by chance, but by divine design. There's a reason your spirit feels heavy even when everything seems quiet. There's a reason why you've never quite felt at home in places others celebrate. You are different, and you've always known it. You carry a frequency in your soul that vibrates with heaven's code. The famous seer told your mother that the world would try to suppress you, but nothing formed by man could ever silence a soul that was born to carry eternity in its breath. That's you. That's who you are. That's who you've always been. You've been tested by fire. You've been lied about. You've been watched, envied, studied, and yet none of it could destroy you. Because there is something sacred that covers your name. You are about to enter a season where your tears will become seeds that bloom into harvests you never imagined. The closed doors that once confused you will now be revealed as protection. The silence you once cursed will now be seen as preparation. The things you lost will be replaced with gifts far greater than what you once cried for. This message is your confirmation. What you are feeling is not madness. It's awakening. You are waking up to what was always inside of you. The dreams that scare you the most? They're real. The visions that flicker in your sleep? They're calling you. The desire to walk away from everything you once called safe? That's your spirit remembering the prophecy. It's not too late. You haven't missed it. In fact, you're right on time. This is about you. You, who were told in silence that you were too sensitive, too intense, too much. You, who tried to shrink yourself to fit into molds you were never made for. You, who almost gave up not once but many times, yet still you rise. You, who stood when others ran. You, who carried burdens silently so others could smile. You, whose name has been whispered in heavenly realms with reverence. If you'd like to donate or show your appreciation, you can give a super thanks up to $100. The famous seer said your voice would carry power. That when you speak, things would shift. But the world tried to mute you. Tried to tell you your voice was too loud, too emotional, too unconventional. They didn't know your voice was calibrated to shake spiritual gates. That your words weren't made for entertainment but for transformation. They didn't know your silence wasn't defeat, it was sacred gestation. You've been in the womb of divine timing, and now, you are about to emerge. It will begin with small signs. People who rejected you will begin to circle back. Opportunities that once overlooked you will now chase you. You will dream with clarity again. You will feel purpose in your bones again. You will no longer feel like a stranger to yourself. Because your time has come. And as you step into this new dimension, you must remember, your calling is not a performance. It's a responsibility. You were given this mantle not for applause, but for impact. You will heal the broken, speak to the forgotten, and awaken those who have fallen asleep in the numbness of this world. The seer saw it all. Saw the miracles that would trail behind your footsteps. Saw the doors that would open just because you arrived. Saw the lost souls who would be redirected because they crossed paths with your light. But there's more. You need to know that someone close to your heart, someone whose name your spirit still whispers in the dark, is thinking of you now. Their soul is unsettled. Not because they're angry, but because they are remembering. They are remembering what your presence felt like. They are remembering the love that was real. They are remembering the purity of your heart, and it is undoing them from within. But this message is not about whether they return. This message is about what you will become whether they return or not. Because your path cannot be delayed by anyone's hesitation. The famous seer said your life would be marked by signs. Look around. Have you noticed the strange alignment of events lately? Have you felt the synchronicities, the repeating numbers, the dreams that feel more real than waking? Have you sensed the shift? You are not imagining it. Everything is accelerating because your destiny is drawing near. You must stay alert. You must stay grounded. The trials you've endured were not punishments, they were divine preparation. And now, the silence is breaking. The veil is lifting. The seeds you planted in faith will bloom, even if they were buried in tears. You will laugh again. You will love again. You will dance again, not because everything is perfect, but because you've remembered who you are. And who you are is enough. No more shrinking. No more hiding. No more apologizing for your light. This is about you. You are the one they warned the shadows about. You are the one whose birth was preceded by signs. You are the one the famous seer saw standing on mountain speaking life into dry bones. You are the one whose presence makes the atmosphere shift. You are the one whose tears carried power. You are the one whose love cannot be faked, whose loyalty cannot be bought, whose heart cannot be broken without consequence. You are not ordinary. You never were. This is your message. Sent in perfect time. Carried by unseen hands. Whispered into existence for you. To remind you that even now, with everything you've lost, you are still chosen. Still called. Still loved. My child, this is about you. Before you were born, a mystery had already begun to unfold in silence, written not by the hands of men but etched in the eternal scrolls of the heavens. A famous seer once whispered to your mother something that kept her awake many nights, something that made her soul tremble with awe and uncertainty. She didn't fully understand it then, but she held it in her heart like a hidden letter she never dared to open. The seer looked into the horizon of your life and said, "Your child will not be ordinary. This child will be a light in the middle of confusion, a guide when the stars are veiled, a stormbreaker for generations." That was you. And this message is for you. Even in your earliest days, when you had no voice to cry out and no words to shape your identity, heaven already knew your name. The winds had whispered it. The earth had echoed it. The angels had sung it quietly under their breath, watching you sleep, hoping you'd live long enough to discover who you truly are. The road has been long, and there have been moments you felt forgotten. But you have not been forgotten. You have been preserved. This is about you. There are certain blessings that don't arrive when you expect them. They arrive when your soul is ready to carry the weight of what's sacred. You were not delayed. You were prepared. You were not overlooked. You were protected. You were not rejected. You were being refined. This is a divine hour. There's something rising in your spirit now because it finally aligns with what has already been written in the spirit realm. You feel it, don't you? A pressure in your chest that isn't fear, it's divine remembrance. Something deep inside you remembers who you were before the world tried to name you. A famous seer once told your mother that there would come a day when you would walk through a fire and not be burned, when you would stand in the middle of silence and hear the thunder of your calling, when you would be looked upon not for what others said you were, but for what heaven has always known you to be. That day is coming closer now. You feel the ground trembling beneath your feet, not with destruction, but with resurrection. You are not who you were last year. You are not even who you were last week. You're shedding skins, layers, masks, titles, expectations. And what's emerging is the truest version of you. There are blessings on the way that don't look like blessings at first. They look like confusion. They look like endings. They look like unanswered questions and closed doors. But hidden inside those moments are sacred keys. The very things you thought were meant to break you were actually coded to unlock you. You have cried in private. You have smiled in public while breaking on the inside. But someone has seen it all. Someone who has counted every tear and weighed it with love. Every prayer you whispered when no one was there has not fallen to the ground. It has taken root in unseen soil. And the harvest is coming. This message is for you. There's something happening in your life that others may not understand, but heaven understands it fully. You are entering a divine transition. The people who misunderstood you may become silent. The places that once held you may no longer fit. You will start to feel too big for what used to feel comfortable. That is not confusion. That is calling. That is the whisper of destiny. The seer saw it before anyone else. And now you're beginning to see it too. Someone has been praying for you from afar. You may not know their name, but their spirit recognized your purpose long ago. And their prayers are holding you up even now. This is not the time to give in to fear. This is the time to stand still and know that a promise delayed is not a promise denied. The dreams you've buried will bloom again. The doors that were shut are being opened in silence. Heaven is working behind the scenes in ways your eyes cannot see, but your heart is starting to feel. This is about you. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are not invisible. You are marked. You are chosen. You are set apart. Your name has been spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Your story is being written with divine ink, and it is more beautiful than you imagined. The tears you've cried have become oil, and that oil will anoint you for the places you are being sent. There is a preparation happening in secret. Do not despise the silence. Do not curse the waiting. This is sacred ground. One night not long ago, someone knelt beside their bed and wept for you. They cried because they knew how much you have carried. They cried because they remembered the words spoken over your life, and they wondered when those words would finally manifest. But even as they cried, heaven sent an answer. And now it's reaching you. In this moment, through this message, a new alignment is being birthed in your life. People who drained you are falling away. Connections that fed your fear are being uprooted. And divine appointments are being written into your days. You are not meant to walk alone. And though you felt isolated, you are about to encounter a circle of souls who speak your language, who recognize your heart, and who honor your journey. Do not be afraid of the shifting. Do not be afraid when the winds blow. You are rooted in something deeper than the storms. You are anchored by promises that time cannot erase. Your story is not over. In fact, the most beautiful chapters have not even been written yet. And when they are, people will look at your life and say, "This had to be divine." This is about you. You have come through fire and flood. You have survived betrayal, silence, loneliness, and delay. But you are still standing. And more than that, you are being transformed. The ashes are falling off. The sorrow is lifting. Joy is coming like the sun through the clouds. You will laugh again. You will breathe again. You will love again, with a heart that is whole, not broken. The seer who spoke over your life was not speaking fantasies, they were speaking prophecy. And the time has come for that prophecy to unfold. Things you have not even prayed for will begin to arrive. Not because you begged, but because you are beloved. You are not earning this. You are receiving it. And it will not be taken from you. This message is for you. Listen closely. The silence you are experiencing is not absence. It is presence. It is the sound of something sacred moving in your favor. The shift is subtle, but it is real. And soon it will be undeniable. Those who doubted you will be silenced. Not by your words, but by the glory on your life. Something radiant is coming. Something that makes sense of the pain. Something that reveals the purpose behind the delay. You are being called higher. And you will not be denied. In the days to come, expect confirmation. Expect whispers in unexpected places. Expect divine interruptions. A phone call. A message. A door. An idea. A conversation that changes everything. Stay ready. Stay soft. Stay open. You are being positioned for something that only you can carry. The oil on your life is rare. The light in your eyes is not fading, it's about to shine brighter than ever. The seer was right. And your mother was chosen to bring you into this world for a reason. Her journey, her prayers, her love, whether expressed or hidden, was part of the divine orchestration. Nothing has been wasted. Every tear, every detour, every sleepless night. All of it is being gathered now into a beautiful, holy story. And the pages are about to turn. Hold on. Breathe deeper. Walk slower. Trust more. You are not late. You are right on time. There are angels walking beside you even now. And the peace you've been craving is closer than your next breath. This is sacred. This is personal. This is about you. There is a blessing coming that will not just change your situation, it will change how you see yourself. You will no longer call yourself small. You will no longer apologize for your light. You will no longer bow to the opinions of those who never saw your soul. You will rise. And when you do, others will rise with you. This message is for you. You are enough. You are loved. You are needed. You are not forgotten. And your story is far from over. A sacred promise hovers above your life, waiting for you to believe it again. Believe now. Take one more breath of faith. The shift is happening. And now, with no fear, no hesitation, hear the one thing that must be spoken with clarity. God says, this is the moment when all things begin to make sense, the chains of doubt are broken, the oil of healing is poured, and your name is being called not in judgment, but in love, in mercy, and in favor.